Welcome, everybody. My name is Jodie Jordan, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I have a really cute and quick Christmas card. The measurements is the standard card base. You got two whisper white or basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. Then you got two gold sheets that are 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then you're going to bring in some smaller gold sheets that are 2 1/4 by 1 1/2 and 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And then the designer series paper would be 2 1/8 by 1 3/8 and 1 1/2 by 1 3/8. And the paper that I'm using is the One Horse Open Sleigh. This is one of those cards that if you have some designer series paper scraps that you want to use up, this is perfect for that. So for this card, you're going to need a corner rounder. As far as I know, right now, Stampin' Up! Does not sell one. You can purchase them on Amazon or in a craft store if you don't already have one. Some of the tools that have it, like this is from when I used to do the scrapbooking. Or you could use like an envelope punch board. They usually have rounders on there. This one was pretty old. I've had this for a really long time. But anyway, you're just going to glue down those tabs. Now, if you want your designer series paper to be flush with the edge and you don't want a border, then you need to make your designer series paper just a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch longer. I chose to have a border all the way around it. So, and you'll see why here in a minute. When I put the card together, I let that blend in with the other gold layer, and you can't really tell that it's, overlapping, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these pieces down, and I'm just going to try and judge where I want to make my, stamp. I think about gluing it down, but I'm like, nah, let me just check it out first and make sure that I get the positioning correct. The stamp set that I'm using is the Horse and Sleigh photo Palmer stamp set. I'm using the Wishing You a Season of Cheer, and then for the inside it says "And a Happy New Year." I done this card years ago, and when I did it, it was so I could hide vellum. I did a layer in vellum. At the end of this video, I'm going to pull in a card that I made uh, just before it was like my practice card, and I will show you what I mean. So, when you create with vellum, you always have to find creative ways to glue it down. And what I did was I created a layer right here, and I stamped on vellum. I didn't like it. So that's why I didn't demonstrate it again, or, create the card again. It looks very nice, but there's something about the stamping I don't like. I think it's because when you stamp on vellum, it doesn't dry real well. What I should have done is, what I originally was going to do was I was going to heat emboss over it with clear on top of the red. I wanted the red to pop, but for some color, but it was starting to warp, and I don't know, I didn't like it. So I went with this, and I think this one turns out really good. Um, it also, I get to use the new ribbon color. The new gold, it's like gold and trying to get it to see what the name of it is. Oh yeah, dotted ribbon. So here I'm just bringing in the snowflakes from the um, Labels Aglow die set. This was a bundle last year it came with a stamp set. I don't even remember what the name of it is. Like, the Brightest Glow. And I'm just kinda trying to find placement for these snowflakes. What I want is I want the gold to come through, um, when you punch this out, what it does is when you apply another layer, the color comes through. So I'm trying to just strategically lay these around. I probably didn't have to use so many, especially when I decide to use the adhesive backed snowflake assortment pack. But it still looks fine. I'm 100% going to mail the card. The same thing with the one with the vellum on it. I'll mail the card. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just being picky. But it takes me a little bit to try and figure it out. They say you should do things in odd numbers, and sometimes I struggle with that because I'm an even person. Not normally when I card make, but just in general in life. Like I like things even. I don't know. I'm weird. But so I just kind of keep playing with the different layouts and not thinking when I'm laying this down that I'm going to put those gold adhesive back snowflakes on here. Like I said, I could have kept off a few of these and maybe just did three of them and then did three of the other snowflakes and it would have looked fine. But in the end, it still looks good. So now I'm just removing those out of the way now that I have my placement where I think I want it. Now I do run this through a couple times. I'm not necessarily you don't necessarily have to. I just wanted to make sure that the holes were completely punched through because they are teeny tiny, and I wanted to make sure that they were so because I want that gold to show through on the card. So I probably overkilled it a little bit. I think my die slid a little bit because one of the holes seemed a little bit off, but it's not noticeable to a non-card maker, just to someone like me. So I'm just shaking out my dies, making sure I got them all because 'cause they're so teeny tiny. I wanna make sure I put them back on my magnet sheet so I don't lose them. If you don't own this, Labels Aglow, a lot of people didn't really know how to use it last year. They were kinda like it was actually a double bundle, and they didn't bring back that one, and the majority of people crafted with the other one. So hopefully people will pull this one out this year and figure it out. But this is a really nice set to have. It has lots of um, like label dies, I guess. You'll see more because I'm definitely using this one. I love this one. I love the way that you can put the two. You can see the other color of the cardstock underneath it. So when you place your glue, you want to make sure that you have this, you don't have to get too sloppy with the glue because anytime that you glue to the gold foil, it 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 doesn't come clean very well. Like even when you use your erasers and things, try to get this completely positioned where you want it the first time because you don't want to go sliding it around too much. I get a little on the edge and it wasn't too bad. I was able to get it off, but for some reason it just streaks up the gold foil and it slides really, really easy. So you're probably going to see me I do this all the time. This is my background stamp block. I always lay it down on my cards. It flattens them out. Like when the glue's drying and it doesn't buckle. So that's what I use my block for. I never stamp a background stamp with that block ever because I have the Misty and it's just better for me because when you're trying to do a background stamp, that thing is huge and to get it evenly color, the color and make sure that you get the impression really well. It's not always, the easiest thing. So I just use it for a weight to make sure that my cards are drying flat. Here I'm bringing in my ruler. If I should have brought in the ruler the first time and just laid it down and then slid those up against it, but I didn't think to do that. So now I'm just going to put adhesive on the back so we can get ready to apply uh, the dotted ribbon. Now, when you use this dotted ribbon, you have to play with this bow a lot when you make your bow because it's double-sided, or it's not double-sided, because it has the stitching on the back to create those little gold dots. So you have to like keep playing with your bow. A lady taught me how to make bows a long time ago, and I get it pretty good. And I do I do a lot. I typically don't buy ribbon that's not the same on both sides, but this was so pretty, and it was our only Christmas ribbon that I went ahead and went with it. I've learned my lesson about buying ribbon like that from it's just so much. Like, for one card, it's one thing, but, like, for me, when I'm doing my craft fair items and I'm doing hundreds of things, it's just a lot. It's too much effort to, try to do for, um, when you're making, like, hundreds of something. Now, for one single card, it's not that bad. I don't mind messing with it a little bit, but, like I said, normally, especially for my craft fairs, I try to keep either a solid color ribbon or at least a ribbon that is the same on both sides. I've been getting my use out of that little eraser thing. I even erase my desk sometimes. So the best I can tell you about your bow is that you want to create your loop and then bring it from the back around and just keep bringing that same. You can see it's going to be the knot part is going to be ugly because it's the back, but then you twist your uh, what do you call that? The tail, and then just keep working with it and tightening it up, and then pull it back out and just keep messing with it. Which this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's let me see what this is. 3/8 inch. So it's not real thick ribbon like I don't know, it looks like it's thicker than it is. And considering that it has all that like stitching on there, you would think it would be a lot harder you would think it'd be stiff, but it's not. So I'm just gonna adhere that down with some glue dots. I've still got stuff that my fingers are so sticky from that little bit of glue. Um, this is a little bit heavier bow, so I'm putting quite a few on there just to make sure it stays. We have a while till Christmas, so it's going to be stored, and I want to make sure that it's secure. And to do that, also, I come back in and I take some glue dots and I put it underneath the ribbon as well, just so it doesn't move around at all. Like secure it down a little bit. I really don't think it's going anywhere, but it's just, I don't know. I like it to lay flat. I don't want it to have any kind of movement. and I put one on each side and then one in the middle underneath the bottom of the bow. So I want to tell everyone that if you have not joined my email list, there is a link in the description below. I have lots of events coming up. Some of them are online only, some of them are in person, and I would love to have you. So the way to get involved in all those classes and things is by subscribing to my email list. So make sure you click that link below. So here's the card that I did on vellum. It's kind of hard to tell that it's vellum with it just laying flat, but I used the same designer series paper, same ink. There's just vellum underneath, and there's also a white card layer underneath the vellum. Um, and then the in color dots is what I used, and then a different red ribbon. That ribbon comes with a combo pack of I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's like a crumb cake one with stitching. Uh, but yeah, that's the two cards, and here I'm just trying to lay those um adhesive back snowflake assortment packs or gems down. And this is why I said I could have probably left off some of the, or, not side cut so many, or I could have left off the gems, but you never have enough bling, in my opinion, especially at Christmas. So that's all for today. I will see you guys back on Thursday. Thanks again. Have a good day. Bye bye. Don't forget to comment below and let me know which card you like best. Thanks. Bye bye.